Okay, here we go. Welcome back to another What's Up with Whale Sacs. Why is that so silly to me? So I have kind of a big topic today, but something that my heart is super excited about and I'm just very excited about. It has to do with carbon offsets. We have decided to offset our touring team's driving miles. So the cool thing is that it's fairly easy to calculate. I just needed the basic mileage that everyone used last year, and we're just gonna do that for this year. So our touring team is about 22 people. We are just set up on a monthly plan so that we are covering their monthly usage of the miles that they've driven for disc golf tour. Obviously, playing disc golf on the tour, there's so many miles driven to get to those events. It's one of those necessary evils, and it kind of sucks because it's one of those sports. We love nature, we're outside, we're in nature, and to do the things we need to do in an RV or in a van. Some people have, like Chandler has a Prius. Way to go, Chandler. But most of these touring players are either in an RV or they're in a van, and it's just part of it, right? Being that we're such an eco-forward thinking company, it was really important to me that we do something about that. So Eric and I in the past, for ourselves, for our own tour, have offset our carbon that we generated from traveling, and I just thought this would be something really cool that I could do for our players, that they don't have to feel guilty about it. I've got it covered. Obviously, there's still things that every single person should do to try to cut back as much as they can, but it was just something cool that I thought we could do for all of our touring players to just kind of help supplement the fact that you have to drive to tournaments. That's just part of it. So that's something we're doing now, and going forward. We have worked with TerraPass. TerraPass.com is who I used a couple of years ago, and actually discovered them through Nate Sexton. Shout out to Nate for being the first one that I've ever seen even care about their carbon footprint. So we wouldn't be here without Nate already doing that research and that work. So just to share a little bit, if you don't know about carbon offsets, I'm sure you've heard the word carbon footprint before. It's essentially just making sure that our future generations are still able to go out and play disc golf, that it's not too hot or too cold or on fire or in a hurricane. Our weather's getting worse and worse, and our planet is definitely being jeopardized. And I just believe in doing whatever we can to help with that. And so that's what TerraPass is all about. It's about calculating the things that you do and the impact that they have on our carbon footprint. And so the things that they do, so you basically fund them and they fund all of these projects around the world. A lot specifically here in the United States. We are one of the worst countries for carbon emissions. Fun fact, they do a handful of different things to help reduce carbon being released into the atmosphere. One of those things is simple forest conservation. There's a lot of that. The first one I saw on their list actually is the Columbia River in Washington, which, this business first started in Portland, Oregon, so that's close to my heart. I know exactly where they're talking about. And so just conserving those forests, and there's forests all over the place that they are working on. There's an added benefit, right? You have these trees that reduce the carbon impact, but you also are providing all of this space for wildlife. So you're, saving the planet in more than one way is by doing that forest conservation. So I think that's really cool. One other significant thing is capturing landfill gases. And in some places it's capturing and destroying. In some places it's capturing and reusing, creating that renewable energy from gases that are being emitted from our garbage anyways. And then one other thing is specifically refrigerants. There's all sorts of things that we use in refrigerators. And so they're extracting those pieces and then reusing it in new refrigerators or new things that are going out. So they're not being wasted, for one, and they're not being released in the atmosphere once those parts wear out. So that's just a couple pieces, and that's just my non-expert knowledge. This stuff is really fascinating to me, and I'm all about green and renewable energy. This was a start for us at Whale Sacs. this was something we knew we could do because I've done it before. Going forward, we are going to be working to try to figure out exactly what our carbon footprint is as whale sacs. There are many things because we work from home, we don't have a big office, we don't have like a lot of overhead, but we do ship a lot of things. So, and we run computers and we run sewing machines. So that is in the works now to figure out what our whole footprint is and make sure that we're moving forward to reduce whatever we can and offset whatever we can't. So lots of stuff about nature and the environment and the planet, and I'm sure you love it as much as I do. And even if you're not big into, global warming and greenhouse gases, I understand, and I understand like being skeptical, and I think it's easier to be skeptical. It's hard to be in a position where you feel like I can't do nearly enough. I feel like that every day, that no matter what I do, I'm making an impact, and I don't like, that sucks. But I think from my perspective, even if they're wrong, even if we're wrong, even if greenhouse gases aren't a thing or causing a problem, why not try? Why not put in the effort? Why not use the energy we already created and not let things go to waste? That's I'm totally aligned with that. So I hope you can maybe look at it from that perspective, that like it's worth trying, even if the data might be wrong. So that's all I wanted to share with you. I got to stand up for what I believe in, and I believe in having a healthy planet for many, many, many future disc golfing generations. So thanks for joining me again this week.